All right, here we go. Section 3, just dividing polynomials. Okay, so we've got a couple different ways we can do this. We can do it just like we did regular numbers, where we do long division, or we can think about it in terms of dividing individual fractions, especially when it's a monomial. So with this one, I can do this: 9x cubed over 3x squared minus 6x squared over 3x squared plus 15x over 3x squared, and then I can do each individual part. So there we go. So I got a 3x. It's a good idea to write it down as you go. I got a 2. Right, that's right. Oh, yep, good, okay. And then here, I'll have an x on the bottom and a 5 on the top, so plus 5 over x. So 3x minus 2 plus 5 over x is what I end up with. The other option is to just kind of work it out, which is sort of the same thing, except just kind of, I could do this. 9x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15x. Okay, so this has to be a 3x, so that gives me 9x cubed. So I've got 0, so I bring down the minus 6x squared. So that needs to be a minus 2, so that gives me minus 6x squared. Gives me a 0, I bring down to 15, and in this case, I need to have a plus 5 over, oh, sorry, that needs to have an x, plus 5 over x, and that's how I can get that to be a 15x. Okay. So not the easiest method. I wouldn't use that one. I would use this for each one of these. All right. Now a binomial. This is where we're going to use long division. D plus 3, 3d squared minus 4d plus 13. Okay, we've got a 2-digit number, so it needs to go in the first 2 digits, but I want to get rid of this. So I have to multiply this by 3d. So that's 3d squared plus 9d. I subtract them, so I get minus 13d. I bring the 13 down. I need a minus 13, so that's minus 13d minus 39. I subtract those. I get a leftover of 52. I get a leftover of 52. And that leaves me as my remainder. Okay, so whatever I used to do with the remainder is I would then add it with the original denominator. Okay. All right, so I'm taking this part into the first 2. So I need to ask myself, d times what gives me 3d squared? So I work that out, and then I subtract. And then I have to say d times what gives me negative 13d, so that's minus 13. So I multiply it out right there. And then I subtract, and that leaves me with a leftover. So that's the process that we're going through when we do long division like that. Long division works no matter what that value is, 2d plus 3 or whatever. There is another method that I can show you in class. It's called synthetic division. I'm not going to show it to you right now, but that's the process that we're going through when we solve that type of question. Let's do this one. Normally I would leave this one to you, but I want to work through it. Okay. So I need to find out what times m gives me 2m squared, and it's going to go over the second value. So that's going to be a 2m. Okay. So that's 2m squared plus 2m. I subtract. That gives me negative 3m minus 3. Negative m minus 2m. So I get negative 3m minus 3. So now I need a minus 3. That's going to get me negative 3m minus 3. So I'm going to subtract. That's going to give me a remainder of 0. So that is the answer. 2m minus 3 becomes the solution for that question. Okay. So make sure that you check it out. Go back to the beginning, redo the problem, whatever. Okay, one of the things we have to be careful of is sometimes they're going to skip a term. So you see this right here, they skip the squared term. When we do division, we're going to take 3z minus 1, and then inside we're going to put 18z cubed. We're going to fill in a z squared, and then we're going to work it out from there. Okay, so it's always best to fill in a part that's been missing. So here there's a cubed missing, here there's a squared missing. So these are a few good ones to practice on. Plug in the 0, work out the process. Now in some cases we're going to want to reorder them. So I'm going to write like this: 2x minus 3 on the outside, and on the inside would be 4x squared minus 10x plus 1. And that's going to help me go through the process. So I'm going to multiply this by 2x. That's 4x squared minus 6x. I subtract them, so that gives me negative 4x plus 1. So now I need a negative 2, so that's negative 4x plus 6. I subtract, I get negative 5. So 2x minus 2 minus 5 over 2x minus 3 becomes the answer for that question. Okay, so you might want to rewrite them and see how that works out for you. Okay, you can pause it on this. This is just a summary of the process of dividing a polynomial by a polynomial, and it's good to look at and remind you of. It's also in your book, as most of these things are. Okay, check yourself. Hopefully it doesn't wreck you, as an old rap song used to say. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Ha ha. Okay, so see ya.